When we imagine the map of India, most of us imagine it to look like this. When in reality, this is the full map of India, with the often neglected Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It's an understandable mistake, but unfortunately for India, its leaders since independence have made the very same mistake at the expense of the development and true integration of the strip of islands. The Union Territory ranks the least amongst Indian states and UTs in terms of GDP, and infrastructure on the island is still largely stuck in its colonial past. This is all set to change, however, with India unrolling a mega 33,500 crore plan to completely transform the region by 2025. Let's have a look at the different aspects in which we can see Andaman and Nicobar completely transform in the years to come. Communication and telecom. The Indian government recently inaugurated a 2,300 km underwater optic fiber cable connection between Chennai and Port Blair, which will provide high-speed internet connectivity to the region. The ambitious project has delivered smooth internet access to a region plagued with connectivity issues. A similar project connecting Kolkata to the islands is in the works, which will truly pave the way for the region's digital integration with mainland India. An internet speed of 400 GB per second will be provided at Port Blair and 200 GB per second for the islands. So far, Andaman and Nicobar only had 3.2 Gbps of bandwidth through a single satellite uplink that was barely able to serve its population of 3.8 lakh people. Trade and commerce. The biggest development coming to the region is a 10,000 crore transshipment port that will tap into the vast sea traffic in the Indian Ocean. Currently, Sri Lanka's Colombo port alone has a higher docking capacity than all of India's major ports combined. What makes this project even more crucial is that upon completion, the Nicobar port will be one of India's largest capacity ports and will give a stiff competition to Sri Lanka's monopoly over sea traffic in the Indian Ocean by replacing the Colombo port as a prime dock in the region. This will no doubt boost maritime trade, increase traffic from the docking of commercial ships, while also consolidating India's maritime footprint in the Indian Ocean. A large chunk of the development plan will be dedicated to the construction of airports on the islands, with 6,600 crores being earmarked for two state-of-the-art airports in both Port Blair and Gamble Bay. A new terminal building is also being built at Port Blair's Veer Savarkar International Airport. India has also undertaken the ambitious project of building 120 kilometers of highways on the islands. Some of the other major projects include solar and LNG power plants worth 2,700 crores, solar boats and modern docks worth 1,700 crores, electric buses, cars and rickshaws worth 400 crores. Combined, the above projects will surely transform Andaman and Nicobar into a modern, highly developed center for trade and commerce that will also attract tourists from across the world. So what makes the Andaman and Nicobar so strategically important? Apart from attracting tourism, India has planned these projects with China in mind. India has recently granted Japan and Australia docking rights to Andaman and Nicobar for their respective militaries, a move that is well in line with India's Act East policy. More than half of China's total sea trade passes through the Indian Ocean, while more than 90% of the oil shipped from the South China Sea also traverses the waters of the adjoining seas. In case of a conflict, the combined navies of India, Japan and Australia can blockade the region and prevent China from accessing the Indian Ocean and the markets beyond, forcing China to take a much longer route via the Pacific Ocean, where the US already has its fleets waiting for them. Placement of the islands and the increased military presence in the region could well be the knife that finally cuts the string from China's string of pearls and its naval encirclement of the Indian subcontinent. By bringing the winds of change to Andaman and Nicobar, the Indian government has not only brought development to a historically neglected region, but even tapped into its immense strategic potential to counter China and increase India's dominance over the Indian Ocean.